Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Skritt. My name is John, better known as Dale Run the X-Men. Fantastic show for you. An update on the next Living Story episode, marketing on Guild Chat, and an influx of players, but is it a blessing? And much more. But first, let me introduce you to my fellow host. He is a moderator over at MMO Champion and host of Zero to Hero on this very channel. Does he have any clue how big of a Moneyball ArenaNet is making from recent general gaming issues? Say hello to Jim.
I hear a lot of people buying expansions. There was at least one person in my Zero to Hero WW stream this past week that was coming over. So helping them out, talking to them, they seemed really interested in WW. So happy to see everybody showing up.
Awesome. And he streams over on Twitch where he answers the age-old question. If another game flops in the industry, does that count as marketing for Guild Wars 2? Say hello to Age.
In this case that we're going to talk about, I would say so. Generally not, but in this case, yes.
There's a theme here if anybody hasn't noticed. We'll definitely talk about it later.
Yeah. What did you hit record, Dale, by the way?
Yes, I did. I'm looking now to make sure. Yes, I did. And she writes for MMORPG.com and also her own site, MMORly.com. Only one recent MMO could turn her mighty roar into a whimpering groan. Say hello to Robin.
Hi. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, the sad agreement to that.
Well, seriously, there's something special about a game that after you stop playing it, you get more and more annoyed about it.
And to be fair, everybody knows, we're not talking about Guild Wars 2, but it does play into Guild Wars 2, surprisingly. But we will get to that. So first up, we have an update on the next Living Story. Is it when is it going to happen? We're getting the trailer this week, right? That's what not quite. So yes.
When does now become then?
Exactly. So from game director Mike Z, he said on the forums, "Hi everyone, the Living World team currently is hard at work preparing episode 3 of Living World season 4. We're excited about how it's shaping up, but wanted to give you a heads up that the release date will be a little outside our normal release cadence." And he goes on to say, "Our key focus while creating the Living World experience is the quality bar we've set for ourselves for each episode. With the amount of gameplay and breadth of content in the Living World, we noticed that we had an opportunity to make some adjustments to how we approach developing each episode that will help us hit our quality standards more consistently. This logistical change has had some short-term cost in time, but will provide benefits to all Living World episodes moving forward. And they'll be announcing episode 3 as the date gets closer, and everyone on the team is looking forward to playing this new content with all of us." So, we rage, right? We're on the internet, right? We're angry.
No,
not really.
No.
Pitchfork.
I know some people are kind of irritated with this because they're kind of like, they said 2-3 month cadence and they're like getting near that and things like that. So it's like rawr. And Arlie, help me out here.
You're muted.
Roar!
There we go.
But yeah, I guess I'm a developer too, and I'm not asking help understand that things happen, and in this case, it seems like they're just trying to make the flow go better because they want to hit the quality standards more consistently, which means that they run into issues in order to meet those standards. So hopefully this helps out and reduces that 2-month, 3-month cadence to hit their mark accurately more often.
So first a joke, Luke, if it's a change in team comp, it just means they're not allowed to play May anymore. But in all seriousness, he's talking about a logistical change. As an example, when I'm writing code, if I'm writing the same thing over and over and over again, what you do is you take that code and then you kind of put it off to the side in a little toolbox, and it condenses that entire block of code down to one line, and you never have to retype all of that ever again. So if them doing this restructuring is them putting stuff into that toolbox so that they can take a longer process and make it much shorter for future releases, A+, man. I'm happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've heard, some people are a little angry that it's going to take longer than the 2 to 3 month cadence, but I mean, I look at it as, on the net average, they've been hitting the 2 month mark, maybe hitting the 3 month. Like, if it's an actual reason, not like, oh yeah, we forgot that we were doing another episode. Like, it's
okay. If I heard that, then I'd have issues.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually to hopefully make it more streamlined in the future. At least that's what it sounds like.
Well, and there's some issues with not just the quality of the dialogue and the story and what happens, but the execution of how things happen and finding the bugs and all of that. And if their process of putting everything together can be streamlined so they can get all of that together faster, it would leave them more time to be able to quality check all of that stuff and fix things before they get it out. So it could be improvements in that way as well.
Honestly, they're still in the window, right?
Yeah, they are.
It's still
they were just coming up on it essentially.
It's 2 months now.
No,
So.
it
3.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say it released at the end of February, I believe. Episode 2.
It was the first week in March, I thought.
Oh, was it? Okay.
April, May, June. We're in June now.
Okay. No, I thought it was the end of February, but that might have been when the teaser came out. So.
Yeah. I mean, so they're fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So a little over. So we might get a trailer next week or the week after.
Well, I wouldn't expect it next week or the week after because I don't know. I feel like if it was only going to be a week delay, they might not have said anything. But I don't know.
Arlie, I believe in the talent in the internet and that they will provide my episode in a fairly reasonable time.
I am happy that they told us this because if this week had gone on without anything, then I think we would have had issues.
Yeah.
But I know I think it won't be as long as people expect.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect it to be another month or anything. I'm just saying I think it may be a week or 2 weeks.
I would say we get a trailer in 2 weeks.
I think Mike Z would have said, a severe delay.
Yeah.
If there was something like that, like a whole month.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, even if it is just a week delay, it's a week delay past the 3 month top end that they said that they would be doing for their cadence. So
yeah,
honestly, when it gets past 2 months, people get a little twitchy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, saying something when we're hitting the 3 month mark, that's even if it's a short delay after the 3 month mark, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Actually, I much prefer they release the trailer in 2 weeks because that's when E3 is.
Mm.
And I would like to watch all the E3 things.
Other thing, side related, on Twitter, somebody brought up that apparently some people were concerned that maybe Mike Z had gotten fired or something because when Kristen Cox did her thing at GDC and Gama Sutra wrote about it and then massively wrote about it, all of them referred to her as game director. And I don't know how she was introduced because the video of that has gone away, but
yeah, I saw a massive article with the game director. I think you can have multiple game directors.
I was gonna say I thought there was a couple game directors at ArenaNet.
There's usually multiple game directors who do things and then the game director who does all of it. Anyway, so yeah, and then they were like, well, was he demoted? And I'm like, what? Because on the
Thanks
post
for
that he
releasing
did-
POF. You're back down.
right? On the post that he did, they didn't say, here's a post from game director or the game director Mike Z. They just said, here's a post from Mike Z. And I'm just like, this is a little crazy for me.
Uh-oh. Well, if for whatever reason it's true that Mike Z, and it isn't, did get fired, he's still posting on the forums under ArenaNet tag. We just delivered that news. I hope an ArenaNet employee doesn't listen to this and remove his privileges. Oh man.
Right. Jeez, we got him in trouble.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah. So anyways, that was an apparent
I
concern
didn't even
for people.
hear about that, but
Like,
I don't know. I'm more likely to say that, and no offense to the journalists on the show, that the journalists get little things like title wrong.
oh yeah, it happens often because like a lot of games use just weird names sometimes for their titles, and some of them are like 6 words long, and you're like, this is a messed up title, and most people don't even understand what those titles mean. So simplification happens all the time, like constantly, which is why I wanted to go back and see the video to see how she was actually introduced, but I can't. So
it's really hard to take a drink with the choya on your shoulder.
Choya on
it wants to
my
rehydrate itself as well.
shoulder.
But
that'll be the next song coming to Guild Wars 2 SoundCloud, maybe. Not ever, hopefully.
but
Go ahead.
I don't know. Like this whole, and then Luke brought up that if we include last episode's delay, the 3-month mark was on the 6th. And to be honest, I don't think I would ever want to include a previous delay because they're talking 2 to 3 months after the previous one was wrapped up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but
it happens. I'm happy to hear that there's an efficiency bump. So
Yeah, hopefully this is an improvement going forward by the sounds of it. So
it's this is a kind of another side thing I wanted to bring up. We haven't seen a raid in a while. About 6-7 months now, and I know a lot of people are kind of wanting that content. I know same type of thing for Fractals, I think too. And I think the idea is they're going to release that content with the next episode.
Possibly.
I wanted to get your guys' opinion on that because I personally think that they should release that content when it's good to go.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
I think, I don't know. My interpretation always was that they do release it when it's good to go, and if things end up being good to go about the same time, then they'll put it out together. But I can't imagine that the raid is ready and good to go at this point, and they're holding it back for the living story. That just wouldn't make sense to me,
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but I was also thinking maybe it's just they have this release cycle in progress, and then I know that maybe different features go together and things like that. I don't know, but
I would say that depending on like the Fractal might have story things linked to it, like the release of the Fractal, the last Fractal that came out with Commodon.
Yeah,
Commodon, right? Yeah.
Well, that was like one of the cities.
Yeah, it was the assault. It was Joe's
first episode, basically the map.
So that's kind of tied to that episode. Raids, I think, should be just any point in time because raids have pretty much proven that they're always like they could be related to the main plot, but they're always kind of off to the side. So I think any raid, if the story is designed similarly, it can always just be released whenever it's ready. The third thing would be depending on their QA team. Like, I don't know how their QA process is. So if they have an issue getting people on clients to test stuff, that could be why they just kind of like, okay, this is done, slotted in for the next batch. Okay, this is done, slotted in for the next batch. Okay, this is, and it just piles up and then they hit a release.
Yeah, that's possible too. I don't know how big of a QA thing they have there.
And then the thing that Bjorn brought up with the the way the episode teams are set
I
up.
responded to that in chat too.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, okay. They're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Because one of the problems they ran into where they had different teams doing different things was it made each thing it made things feel too disjointed, because no matter how well you communicate between the teams, having different people writing and doing the story for different episodes, it's going to feel different. Like there's no way to really sync that up.
Different writing styles.
Mm-hmm.
I did, however, see Nike's tweet about wanting just if there's a raid ready, release it. If there's a fractal ready, release it. And I do agree with that like 80% of the time, minus the things I said beforehand.
Yeah.
Like if it's somehow tied very strongly with the story release, that I think it should wait. But otherwise, I completely agree. Just like push that out, because it doesn't really strongly affect other sections of the game.
Sorry, I was working on the back end because apparently my Twitch chat just reset because Twitch is being great today.
They're gonna make a blessed pun there. There.
But any other thoughts on the delay of Living Story?
I can wait.
You know, you wouldn't want it to be a buggy, horrible thing when it releases. Speaking of a buggy, horrible thing that releases, Bless Online came out recently, and it was supposed to be the shining beacon of MMOs that some people were saying. Well, it was definitely beneficial for, you know...
Were people saying that?
A lot of people were hoping.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of, I don't know if people watch it, what is it, free-to-play cast with MMO Bomb, when it was still thought it could be free-to-play. Poor Noob Fridge, when he was talking, like, he's like, I really don't think it's going to be, like, all that, but people were like, no, you're wrong in this, like, this, it's going to be the, but, you know, and people were very asking, why are you talking about this on a Guild Wars 2 podcast? Well, it has probably been the best marketing for Guild Wars 2 ever. So, Bless Online, let's just say, keep it short, is having a lot of issues, and there's been mass, you know, refunds and stuff like that through, I think, Steam and all that. Their subreddit is kind of, you know, a lot of people are displeased with it.
I'll keep going. I'm going to check their subreddit.
But it seems like a lot of people were kind of in their subreddit and stuff suggesting Guild Wars 2 and like maybe some other games, but you know, since this is Guild Wars 2 podcast, we'll focus on that. But so much so that maybe it's conveniently at the same time, coincidentally at the same time, doesn't seem likely, but there's now a hashtag welcome to GW2, like basically trending on Twitter. If you are maybe just getting into the game, maybe you're just feeling the waters after the pain Bless gave you, maybe you're trying the free-to-play version. Well, if you use actually GW2, welcome to GW2 in the Guild Wars 2 store to buy the game, I think there's, what, you get 30% off Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, everybody who has an account, go get your secondary account so you can get legendaries faster.
Yeah. All them dailies.
And maybe you're thinking here like, oh, I was sick of Bless and I jumped in, or maybe I just got in and, you know, maybe just started playing Guild Wars 2 and maybe you bought the game maybe just a couple days ago. Well, they even said, you know, definitely try to contact support if you bought the game pretty recently, because they're usually pretty good about, you know, if it's a day, like if it's been a month, you know, probably not. But if, you know, I've seen some people up to a week prior, they, you know, Just try to be. Just remember they are people too. So don't treat them like pray a bless support right now. But it's kind of interesting that that's come out of this, and so many people.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw this interesting picture. It's like isn't this an early access title? It means it's still yup. It still means it's unfinished. It's still being developed. Correct. An unfinished game has bugs and lacks planned features. Yep. Then there'll be new balance patches and feature updates. Plus online is broken. Everyone should refund. All right. Here's the thing though about that picture that I saw. Bless is already a game that exists. It just needed to be
it's already a game that existed. Exists means it's still running in other regions. It really isn't.
Existed for the sake of argument. And it's been around for at least 2 years. I think it's been development. I think Terran said 7 years. The game, it's an early access title for NA, or they're trying to market it as that, but it should be an established game. It should be done. It just needed to swap a few things for the Western market and translations for the most part. Kind of like what Black Desert Online did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that too well.
Pink, I'm pretty sure the AI in a ranger pet is probably better than what people have been dealing with in Bless. So I'm jumping a little ahead here. We're talking about the UI, but I watched a few videos of Bless, and I feel like every Korean MMORPG uses the exact same assets for their UI.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen those icons for the inventory. I've seen those setups for the equipment management, and it's just, do they just kind of share a common library? Are these all coming out of the same studio?
Well,
are they all the same developers?
So it's not just like the general setup of the UI that's the same, but like there's certain ways that the things work in those MMOs. Like every Korean MMO has a thing where you can click on a thing for a quest, and it'll auto path you to where your quest target is, where you need to go, so you don't have to figure out how to get there or run. There's certain things like that show up in every single one, and I think it's just a regional thing where you get the same thing in Western ones, where there's certain aspects that we always have that it's just self-perpetuating in a way. It's what people think of for that, what's it called? I don't want to say genre, but division of it.
But yeah, but so much so, like, there's also been reports of, didn't you say this, Age, earlier, that in the Bless, like, one of Bless's like official like pages or statements or something, they were talking about go and buy Guild Wars 2? That
was just honestly a bad implementation of that press release section. So if you go to blessonline.net and you scroll down to their press release section, they have automatically, I think they just like get a feed of different things that they read,
so it's probably based on your
so they have kind of everything, that every article that's around Bless Online in that press release, and that includes things like Guild Wars 2 has 30% off, and Bless players are talking about it, things like that. So,
whoops,
they forgot to and then I think Arlie was saying earlier that they basically forgot to blacklist any other MMO for any of their other stuff, because
their ads,
like all of their AdSense blocks were just all Guild Wars 2 advertisements.
Pretty funny.
But yeah, so it seems like we've had a bit of an influx, and kudos to the player base, because I think I've seen some people setting up like going to like the starting zones, kind of like when they introduced the free-to-play aspect for Guild Wars 2.
One thing I will say for Bless as a positive is that if you like in-depth character creation and have a lot of options to customize your character how you want, they have like more options than frankly I could deal with. Just going through the character creation was crazy. Like, I mean, you can change the size and the length of your neck. Like, among all the other things, there is just so many options. It's insane. If you could play it for free, I would tell people to get it just to mess around with that because it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What Zechariah is talking about, Lazy Peon, that's a person who
kind of reviews MMOs in general and primarily MMOs. I think he's done a couple others outside of it, but
yeah, I found it highly ironic because he was waiting for Bless Online to come out, so he was like messing around with other games, and he finally found time to play Path of Fire, and he started enjoying it, so he made a video about it, and the very next day he made a video about Bless and his time in it and how he wasn't enjoying it, and he suggested to play other games, and he highly suggested Guild Wars 2, and he referenced people to his other video. I don't really watch Lazy PM a lot, but I saw that it was tweeted out a few times by other people, and that's kind of like one of the main reasons. If other YouTubers are saying like, "Hey, this is not a great game. You should go back. Maybe go back to the other game that you were playing before," or maybe they suggest XYZ game. People are going to flock to it. Like the influx of Bless players online to Guild Wars 2 is awesome, but it could be happening to other games as well. Like I know a lot of BDO players who were going to go to Bless just came back to BDO, and that's one.
One of the things that Luke brought up that his Lazy Peon's original implementation of his original video on Guild Wars 2 was that he didn't really get the game, and his video after his Do Not Play Bless video, he said that is just, I did not get Guild Wars 2 when I played it at first. I appreciate the fact that someone can go back to a game and say, I didn't get it, now I do. So
because it's a very similar MMO, but it's also a very different MMO in some aspects. Like,
yeah, but yeah, I completely understand it if you're coming from a game like WoW or really any other MMO, really like from, I don't know, let's say 4 years ago, because like Guild Wars 2 is a very they pride themselves in doing things differently than other MMOs, and kind of the same with Guild Wars 1 to some degree. So I can completely understand it if you come from another MMO into Guild Wars 2, and it's very confusing because there's no like quest. There's the end game is kind of all there, and there's like hearts and all this thing, like all these different elements that you kind of have to learn over time. And at first there were no mounts, now there are, but it's kind of hard to get the first time. So you have to actually kind of spend the time a little bit and then determine if the game's for you or not.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say real quick, Guild Wars 2 has also kind of spoiled me because one of the nice things about it is there's no real barrier to playing with your friends, no matter what you want to do. Like,
except for WW, but they're fixing that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the only kind of barrier, but that's mostly easy enough to deal with because, like, you can just make on the same server or whatever for the most part. But, like, it's one of those things when I see other MMOs where they have individual separate servers and where you have to roll in them, and then there's factions and you have to be on the same faction, and then sometimes they shut down the ability to make one of the factions and you can't play with your friends now because of that. Like, I get overly frustrated at that because having spent so much time with Guild Wars 2 where none of that is a concern at all, it just frustrates me that it's suddenly a thing again.
Yeah. I think for anybody that's coming that is new to Guild Wars 2 from Bless Online in our chat. 1,
Mm-hmm.
welcome. 2, I highly recommend for your first character you do not use your level 80 boost. There was somebody in chat asking about that when I was playing WW, and I would highly recommend to just level your first character.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, then you can do it.
Or I would say if you're a veteran player and are used to like hopping into a game where you have all your skills available, don't feel like you have to go all the way to the last. Like the last zone isn't the end game. Like like other games. Like you could go anywhere. So don't feel like you are just supposed to hang out in the level 80 zones. And I mean,
you don't necessarily have to level your first character up to max level. Like just get all the skills unlocked, you know, get everything out there so you have a good feeling about how things work on the game. Because even as a veteran player, unlocking a new profession that I haven't played and boosting it to 80 is a bit overwhelming. There's a lot that goes into it, and the way things work together affects things a lot.
Yeah, I think with the exception of my Revenant, maybe I've power leveled all of every profession to 80, and then I've just auto leveled like secondary characters to 80 just because I knew what they did already. But yeah.
So, you having fun there with your Twitch controls, Deo?
Twitch is for me. I can't see chat anymore. Oh, there we go.
So apparently when you can't see it, I can't. I don't know. Well, this is just lovely. Well, anyway,
are we still offline?
Oh yeah, on my screen we're still technically offline. We're talking to all the lovely people. Oh, Twitch. Twitch, you're going the way of Bless. Be careful.
Wow.
But yeah, I think and if somehow this gets to a new player, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're a veteran player, maybe throw in some tips that you've learned over the years. I remember I was telling someone just today, you know, it's like it's one of those things where I preface like it's not that I don't want to answer your questions, but hey, if I'm not around or someone's not around, /wiki or /wiki space and whatever subject you want, and that always blows them. They're like, wait, what? Like that's kind of like the biggest one I've always seen there where people are like, oh, that's a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, /wiki space question is a wiki search, opens up a web page. The best thing Guild Wars 2 ever added.
Yeah, occasionally we'll do that in WoW, and then I'm sad.
There's an add-on for that.
Oh, really?
I think you can also do a /wowhead and search that, and then I don't know if someone did one for MMOC's WowDB. But you have to do an add-on. /wiki in Guild Wars 2 is just in the game. So I will also bring up max point. If you play a ranger and you like the longbow, your 4 is a situational ability, not a DPS ability.
You do it on everything all the time on cooldown.
Don't you listen to her?
No.
Do it.
That is a knockback. It is a much more powerful knockback the closer you are to the target. It is situational. Do not knock enemies out of AoEs of fellow players. They will get mad at you.
If I could flag in open world PvP just for that, I would.
Age suddenly becomes the watcher in the night. He's the one who attacks all of the rangers who use their longbow 4 on cooldown.
I will. I'm a thief player. I cannot keep jumping left and right over people.
But yeah, just to recap, the 30% off deal for Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns, it is welcome to GW2. And I believe Taryn was saying earlier in chat that that is for the standard and deluxe. I don't think it applies to the ultimate because that's usually just $50 in gems added. So it applies to all the digital goodies you could get with the deluxe one. So you could still get 30% off for that. And also we're currently at 20% off Blackline keys, which if you want to go that route.
Oh wait,
no, save that. That's a transition into the gem store. You just wasted that.
Well, Gem Store's not for a while.
I know.
Well,
Are you
we
gonna
cap it
just-
there. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just-
it's one of those things that I think they added for this, so it fits.
Yeah. I mean, that's like jumping in on it while they can. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
I
which
would.
that's what a company should do. I mean, so, any other thoughts on Bless and how it's affecting Guild Wars 2?
I know a lot of content creators are helping, like giving out gems and stuff. So hop on that if you want. Also, there's a lot of there actually is quite a few videos of guides and things like that. I'm actually, like how to get started or things like that. Yeah, certain things like that. I want to make I've been trying to make a thief guide for a while now, but now is like actually a good time to make it. So.
Do it. Teach me how to play Thief. I don't know how.
And you are talking about other partners. And if you are maybe on the fence, haven't got it yet, maybe you're looking at that 30% off deal. You can also use partner codes that they get a little bit of, for kind of, you using their link. I know Age has one. There's Inks, Bog Otter, Peachy, Dolphy. There's a whole list on Guild Wars 2's site of the partners, and usually they'll have a link somewhere, hopefully, displayed where you can use their link to. They'll get a little bit of money.
I need to say that I am an affiliate, not a partner. I need to clarify that.
My apologies.
I know a lot of people get that confused
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm an affiliate, not a partner. There.
Age gets a little bit of kickback. Sorry. If you use his code or his link, but like I said, with Inks, Peachy, Bog Otter, there's loads out there. So definitely, if you want to support the community, if you're hopping in, that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just through the Guild Wars 2 store, or the ArenaNet's store. So it's not like it's some kind of shady third party dealer or something.
Yeah, I try to stay away from them in general.
Yeah.
I know like $5 games sounds enticing, but I don't know. I personally stay away from them, but it's up to you. It's your own money, your own risk. So.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Bless and how it was great marketing. Well, they had the content marketing team on Guild Chat this week. At this point, you'd probably think it was the Bless devs. Sorry, it's never gonna get old.
Okay.
Oh boy, more names. I'm gonna be horrible. Guest this week, and I apologize ahead of time. Mike Sibowitz, head of global marketing. Regina, oh boy, Buenabra. No one stopped me.
Sounds right.
Buenabra?
That's right. But
I don't think it's right, but I tried. I'm sorry. Content marketing team lead. Stefan Lopresti, content marketing manager, and technically Ruby, who's the host every week, but she is also content marketing manager as well. So she's double dutying on that. So have you guys got a chance to watch the Guild Chat, and if Chat as well got a chance? Definitely.
Age,
wanted
good
to.
job.
I wanted to.
I write the show notes. I have to. There was actually quite a few things because the one thing that was kind of interesting is like Stefan was the wiki liaison for, and it's pretty cool. Like all the things. Like, there's a bus going on. I think you can hear that. Just gonna wait. Okay, yeah. So Stefan is I think primarily the wiki liaison for those who don't know, the Guild Wars 2 wiki is just a resource provided maintained by players in order to provide information on Guild Wars 2, like for releases, skills, NPCs, all that stuff. And normally they have many projects going on, like PvP skill splits, and they have a thing where people can leave feedback on things that are happening in game, or tidbits, notes, voice lines, and the people who maintain the wiki will actually update the wiki for you. So, you know, if you don't have the time or you're not really an editor in that respect. But I found that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked a little about community events. And our next one is, what was it? Petco Park at San Diego Comic-Con. And they don't have a presence at the con, but they're going to be in the park. They're going to have the Griffin. If you want to ride the Griffin, I would suggest you go ride the Griffin if you're in the area.
In a park, so you even got a scenic look. Like
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
when you guys were there, it was just, you know, in a building.
It was awesome.
You got a sky backdrop now.
Look, there was the one picture of Thor in a storm. So there's that.
Yep.
It's Photoshop. And they're also going to have a food truck. Guild Wars 2 themed food truck, which
Nice.
sounds pretty cool.
That will be cool, I'm sure.
I wanted them to, like, I read that and I'm like, I wanted the food truck to be at PAX.
Yep.
Like, I want Choya bites.
Jeez.
Like seriously, like, give me my Guild Wars 2 themed food.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I picked out this. There was something interesting to note. So we as a team, we're trying to get a long lead when it comes to events that are happening. We listen for things the community is asking for. There are surprises in the works I will not tell you about, but it does incorporate the feedback that is given to us.
Cool.
So I'm
So
like,
what feedback have we been giving that?
I'm like, E3 is coming up. I don't know if you guys are doing anything for E3, but you guys
They posted they're not doing any.
Well, they said that they're not doing anything official, like on the floor, like announcing anything.
Like,
Because I think they
there's no
do still have
big
people
announcement.
going,
Yeah.
but it's going to be probably behind the scenes stuff. And
Yeah. Or like what I was saying before, sometimes what they've done in the past is they'll be doing interviews, but all of that will be embargoed until sometime after E3.
Okay, so in that case, maybe there's like a surprise contest or something like that.
Maybe.
Or maybe something marketable, I guess. We'll see. Oh, that reminds me. Everyone remembers the thing?
Yep.
Yeah. So apparently,
They're giving that to Bless. Sorry.
they that was one interesting thing. So they talked about that, and I think it was it was Mike who actually said that wasn't targeted for the community; it was targeted for other people, and they said it worked for the purpose it intended. I'm like, who are you targeting with this?
Yeah, I was
I
going to
wanna
say,
know.
what was the target for that? Because I don't understand.
Yeah. If it works, it works. Great. But
Also, how do you figure out what the target like who you're targeting and how you're hitting that? Because
I mean, you can tell if you're hitting it sometimes because you make something aimed at whatever, and if you get responses from that whatever segment that are positive, then you know that you've hit it. So I'm assuming whoever they were targeting with that responded well. I have no idea who those people are, though.
admittedly, even if we're super like generous about the count, I would say that like the Twitter Reddit spheres of Guild Wars 2 are like maybe 10 to 15%.
Yeah, that's high.
If you add in forum, maybe 15, 20, but that's me being generous, like I said. And that's just the player base. I know there are people who never touch the forums. And like there are people that just consume the content as it comes out, and they're not like super hype on anything. They just enjoy the game. So I'm assuming that that in general there was some demographic there, and it was like it wasn't the social media people.
Yeah, I would like to know who they were targeting, though. I'm curious. Like, it's not that I don't believe them or anything. I just literally can't think of who that could possibly be aimed at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird.
The easily surprised. I don't know.
I guess
Ah.
it's like I don't know if a game did that, I would click on it. Like
I will.
Maybe it was aimed at singers who just like stand around and they're like, ah.
It's possible.
Yeah, I was gonna say it worked for the goal they wanted. I mean, I guess it's that like people talked about it and passed it. Like it was, it. I don't want to say it was viral because it
like conversation. It's true,
but I don't know if it's like. It feels like it's almost like that mentality, and I don't know the numbers. They might have more statistics behind it, of course, but it just seems like, from my perspective, the response from it, that it did, kind of go around all like throughout gaming as like a big joke, but it got the name Guild Wars 2 and people, in people's vocabulary that maybe weren't using it, but,
and
yeah, it just seems like they're taking that mentality of it's like, even bad publicity is still, good publicity. It's like,
yeah.
Ugh,
and I'm actually going to say the full name, Pink Hobo Nipples, in chat. Just cringe marketing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So
I guess so.
I mean, it is. It totally is. I don't know if it's good marketing.
But
I'm not a person in marketing, but I'm assuming, like they said, it hit their target demographic, so I guess it worked. And it did get people talking about Guild Wars 2. So
I'm gonna ask them next time I see them. It's like, who are you targeting with this? I need to know. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I can't sleep at night.
What was the goal with that?
I'm wondering if, like you said, cringe marketing, or it basically became a meme. Like I was jokingly saying it became a meme in Guild Wars 2. I wonder how much it left that ecosystem to so. If it did to maybe even other games, it probably did what they wanted it to do.
I will admit that sometimes when I was in Heart of Thorns when it first released, when I was trying to get from point A to point B and I didn't have like all the glider upgrades, I did feel a little So
yeah,
there's a little bit of that in there.
Yeah, like am I gonna make it?
And dead.
I mean, like internally, is like a thing when you're hyped for something. Totally, I understand that. I just, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it works, it works. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you guys said, I am curious of, like, what was their goal with that, and so maybe we'll never know.
It's like how many licks to the center of Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Pop.
Let's find out. Anyway,
237. I mean, what?
Someone test that. Chat, test that.
Actually, when I was a kid, because I'm stubborn, I did it, and I got to 1,028, and then I gave up.
Jeez.
Damn.
Oh, anyway, as we go through, if you're new to the show, maybe you start playing Guild Wars 2. We tend to go off the rails a little bit every once in a while, and there was one of those moments.
Yeah.
But looking at their like live streams that they want to do, Guild Chat, community showcases, like the creative partner thing, they've been doing that more. They did the World v World live streams. They've been kind of doing, fractals and dungeons when they could, or raids when they could, and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're kind of ticking all the boxes that they're, kind of bringing up, which, at least good on them. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
And, I mean, once again, it's like all the other guild chats. If you are interested in this field as like a background thing, they do talk about like kind of like tips for, if you want to get into that role in the business. So if you are at all interested in that, or maybe just want a perspective on that, definitely check it out.
I'm still waiting for my art guild chat. I really want to see that one.
Also, Regina did do a thread on Twitter earlier today, just going over basic advice about, if you want to become a content creator and stuff, some things to think about, and the fact that it is work and you do need to act professional and be professional if you want game companies to work with you on things. So that was cool.
Yep. Any final thoughts on the guild chat itself?
No. Good stuff as always.
Well, let's now move on to what the internet is good at. Ranking the professions and having an argument on
Oh no.
fictional stuff that
Did something
know.
happen with the professionals this week that I missed?
no, but based on lore, someone was asking on Reddit, what is the most powerful class?
Oh, that's a difficult
easy.
one.
No, that's super easy.
Hmm.
Revenant.
Eh.
The only lore-based Revenant is Ritlock. What fight has he lost since he became a Revenant?
Against Balthazar.
So he's lost one fight out of all of the fights. Clearly,
Well, I mean, technically, he's no longer the only lore, or he's not technically, because there are NPCs now that are Revenants. So
Yeah.
he's the only one that we talk about. But
He's the only one that matters.
yeah.
well, we're talking about like when you talk about the most powerful of any given class, it's usually a named
Yeah.
big ticket character. Ritlock is literally the only big ticket Revenant.
Well, by
unless
that
the
token,
commander
then
is a
it's
Revenant.
clearly Mesmer. I wanted to call it Mirage for a second. I'm like, that is not the right M word.
And my
Mesmer,
question
because
would be,
Jaina, not Jaina.
Mike?
Yeah, Jaina.
Jenna.
Jaina.
I was like,
Jenna.
Jaina. You're angering the internet, right, ma'am? That is wow.
I don't know where, like, oh yeah, that's where Jaina came from. I was like, I
Yeah.
have no idea where Jaina came from. Yeah, Jenna. Queen Jenna, because apparently she can do any gosh dang thing.
I mean, granted, there's no.
Casimir.
I was gonna say, granted, there's no proof backing this up, but a lot of people are speculating, like, because a lot of people are saying the Jenna creating the bubble thing around Divinity's Reach and stuff like that was actually a group of Mesmers, but we don't know.
I
thought there was a dialogue in there where she said that she was putting it up like that she did it. Like, I could have sworn there was a dialogue line that clearly indicated that it was her doing, not that she was having other people do it.
So what Luke brought up is that whoever the commander, whatever class your commander is the strongest.
Yeah. Oh, poor Casimir can do anything until a guild member's mother's life is about to end. Then she forgets she can literally portal anywhere.
Wait,
Yeah.
I thought Casimir wasn't there when that happened.
I remember she dropped in with us into the cages
Oh.
and stuff like that.
Okay. Wow. Then yeah. What the hell, Casimir? What are you doing?
I am totally missing the point there.
Hot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I had blocked that out of my memory.
Welcome back to that.
Oh, thanks.
Oh my god.
Thanks, guys. I needed to remember that moment and the facial animations, and now I'm seeing it in my head, and I'm sad again.
Aw. Aw.
Though I like how I think it was Tav that said earlier, Necro is dead last. I honestly, if it wasn't lore based, if we're looking at lore based,
first.
very true. Ooh. But I was gonna say, if it was game based, elementals, because they always like their elementalists. But lore based, yeah, that's why Bram is.
I think I think it's obvious by the most powerful class based on lore is obvious. You didn't let me finish.
No.
Okay, so the most powerful class based on lore is obviously Revenant, and here's why. You can channel the ability of a dwarf god, a demon from the realm of torment, and a legendary assassin in all of Guild Wars 2 history. The most peaceful centaur I've ever known.
I've ever known. How many
You
do you know?
personally knew him.
I personally knew him.
How many do you know, Age?
Some of his best homies are centaurs, man. Don't be like that.
And
I want that as a shirt.
you could be a legendary crystal dragon, summon that power. You could also summon the power of one of the most inspirational chars in Guild Wars 2 history. Like, I think Revenant wins.
Yeah, but they channel a shell of it from the mist. Like they're not channeling the actual.
Hey, they talk to us. We're actually channeling them. They talk to us. We have conversations.
Yeah, in POF, rocks talk to us. They're just recordings. They're just murmurs of their memories and stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant rocks, like.
No,
know.
not literally rocks. Yeah, rocks talks to us. I'm like, shut up.
Hey,
If you want to talk to me, you have to channel through me. Thank you very much.
But they can channel a centaur, but can they outrun a centaur?
Only if they're human.
Wispy, technically, like some of them died of like old age. Some of them we actually killed, but it took us a damn hard time to do it. So,
yeah.
1v1.
I still think Shiro's my favorite out of all of them. I love
For some
Shiro.
reason, when Age said 1v1, my mind jumped to Shiro and him just standing there going 1v1 me, bro.
You know,
Like, I just
everything
imagine Shiro doing that.
I'll admit I never did finish the factions campaign, but everything I've read and seen YouTube videos on Shiro, like I can totally see him doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
1v1 me, bro.
Mesmer, I would say, would be.
Now,
Mesmers can do anything. There
I
is no
would say-
limit to what they can do.
Given what I've seen in the story, I would say Mesmers are pretty OP.
it's one of those things where mesmers are kind of the hand wavy writer tool.
That's why
It's like,
they're so powerful.
a mesmer did like one of the like in high fantasy books, it's like there's a meme of a wizard did it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you could just kind of magically hand wave stuff away, and like a mesmer did it. And whenever, like, even when I've been talking to my wife, whenever we're talking about story bits, it's like, but a mesmer did it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason I say Revenant stacks up to that is because Revenant has relatively little lore written about it. So whereas other professions have a far more designed or defined power set, despite Mesmer, because a Mesmer did it, it's kind of like poorly writing for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically a poorly written Superman comic makes Superman basically invulnerable, and he wins because he thinks about winning. A Revenant can basically win because they want to win right now, because they have no real narrative constraints on what their powers can do. Like that giant summoning of Glint when Ritlock kind of pops in Heart of Thorns for the first time. We can't do that, but Ritlock can.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything saying that Ritlock can't do that? Not really. I mean, he just literally pulled that power out of nowhere, and we have no basis to say whether or not that's bullshit.
So yeah, I think our show consensus is either Revenant or Mesmer. One of the two of them are the most powerful.
Well, I was going to say,
The thread
'cause-
saying.
well, I was going to say, and they were talking about like kind of like some people were bringing up stipulations and like rules of like rolling things out. If a lich count as a necromancer? Because they're saying a lich is no longer a necromancer, for example, type of thing.
Lich isn't a necromancer.
Isn't more
Well, but
of
I
a-
would
is a
say I would say in the world of Tyria, because it's what magic you utilize.
Well,
Oh
but
my
a lich
God.
could be like summoned by a
No,
necromancer.
no. Zed in chat just completely threw this all out of the water. Lissa being invoked by a Revenant. Nope, it's done. They win. It's over. It's finished.
Though we don't know the rule set about summoning, because they haven't summoned a god yet.
Wait, in that case, wouldn't technically Dervish win?
Well, no, they haven't tried to invoke a god yet.
That we know of.
Exactly. And that's what I was talking about. There's no definition of whether or not they can invoke the aspect of a god. So a
Dervish.
Revenant invoking Lissa.
Well, Dervish.
What if that's
Yeah.
why Ritlock had a blindfold?
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh.
That
Honestly,
No,
I
I like what someone brought up was if you're looking at like maybe possibly even getting close to conquering the world, Scarlet puts Engineer in a pretty good running.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Well,
so on what was I gonna say? That was my suggestion back when we were doing the pre-hot stuff at PAX East that year. Was I said that we need to be able to do Scarlet as a legend for Revenant.
I think I don't know if Tavic's in chat, but we were talking about it during one of the Zero to Heroes, and it's give the Revenant a rifle and make the skills summons, like necromancer minion skills. So you could summon Flame Legion, Toxic Alliance, Aetherblade Pirates, and then the elite would probably be a Watch Knight.
Or the elite could like be some kind of like what was Oman's machine? The interworld like warping of reality thing.
Oh, I think it was just called Omad's machine. Like,
yeah,
you mean
but
the
I
thing
was
that
trying
you
to think of what it did exactly.
Oh, it allowed her to see the vision that, I mean, I don't think they were, I guess it made them see the eternal alchemy. So
yeah, invoke the eternal alchemy.
It's a 3-day stun that makes the enemy go, because they're just now seeing the eternal alchemy.
Oh man.
And I kind of want to not do this because we're going to be here all night because there's lore here, and this is a wormhole that you created, Deo.
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably should continue on.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want to be here all day. I have things I want to do tonight.
I have.
You got.
If I want to sleep tonight, I have to put my other bed frame together.
You have things to do. You gotta go make money, right? So you can spend things.
God damn
in
it.
the gem store. Speaking of the gem store, thank you to always to Dolphy.net. Check out Dolphy.net so you can spend your gems more wisely. First up, we have the Choya harvesting tool. That is 1,000 gems. Of course, it's an account-bound item, so you can switch it between your characters. It's not. It unlocks the skin for your account now, but you still have to switch over the actual device. So,
yeah.
Don't encourage him. Pink.
That's literally what it does.
But are any of you picking this up, or maybe chat? Have you picked up the Choya harvesting tool?
I have forbidden myself from harvesting tools for a while.
Don't you have like 5 sets?
7.
See, and honestly, like for me, like I only have 2 sets. So I think we talk about this every single time too. It's like, how do you have 7? How do you get like? But I really wish they would start like making a bundle that's just the skin and whatever the sigil is. Maybe even for just like 400 or 500 gem, like even half of it, where something so you could get, because I like to collect the skins, but I don't need any more like
harvesting tools.
Yeah.
I might spring for the infinite, the Unbound Magic set at some point.
The Unbound Magic set's great. I've had that for a while. I would get the volatile magic if they make that.
Don't you?
I thought they did, or was that just people hoping?
Usable ones that have a limited amount. They don't have unlimited volatile magic.
You can buy the Karma ones from all the season 3 maps.
Guild Wars Monk, I believe you're thinking of. I think last week or the week before they did the Lumber Axe. I think this is the herbs. So.
The herbs.
Yeah. But yes, you're right. Because I think when I saw this, I was like, didn't we do this already? Like,
yeah, that's one thing that I wish they wouldn't do. I wish they had a whole set of like related ones, like the Choya ones. That I wish they would just put them all out at the same time instead of doing one a week.
Well, that's how you market those tools. You got to do them separately.
I mean, like, why? Like, just put them all out there and leave them there for a few weeks, and people could buy them all.
It's like the campaign. We just don't know.
I guess.
And it probably works too. So.
Well,
it bothers me mostly because there are some of the ones where they haven't done a full set of them. So, like
the dog.
When they put out just one, I don't want to buy it because I like having a full set. I like having matching ones. So I'm less likely to buy it if they put out just one at a time, or if they put all 3, and I'd be like, oh, that would be a whole set. I could do that.
Does it have a glyph?
I have a problem.
Yeah, I was just wondering that because I didn't see any mention. But
I don't think so. I think it's just essentially like the tool. And then
let me check the news article for the release.
Yeah, I really don't remember them mentioning one because you gotta remember some of these ones in the past didn't have any special.
Oh, Glyph of the Forester, chance to receive bonus wood logs while gathering.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Which you'd think they would have put that in the lumber choya, but
yeah, that is a bit weird. And K-Fizzle, yes, because actually, speaking of which, available till Tuesday, the Infinite Unbound Magic Gathering Tool set is for 2,700 gems, and that's all 3 of them, and I believe it gives you the glyphs to, as you're mining, or as you're gathering, you can get Unbound Magic, which was the Season 3, kind of, across Season 3 currency. So if you ever need to farm that kind of stuff, definitely pick that up.
Yeah, also, Peak, I wasn't saying that the thing should be permanently on it. I was just saying that when they have a full set of one skin type that they're going to release, that they release all 3 at once and then keep those on for a few weeks before pulling them off.
I'll say that it should be up permanently, but I have my rants about the gem store in general, so I don't want to get into that right now.
Also available till Tuesday, the Mini Choya Pumpkin Gang for 400 gems, the Mini Maraca Choya Pinata for 400.
I'm sorry, the Mini Choya Pumpkin Game just sounds hilarious.
The Train Choya Hammer Skin for 600 gems. That one's pretty comical. It's basically a Choya on a stick. And if you're a Revenant, you get to throw it. I mean, come on. Returning the ceremonial plated outfit for 700 gems, the Mersat robes for 700 gems, and the wedding attire for 1,000 gems. So would you guys recommend any of those that are
I have the
returned
wedding
or
attire.
available?
It's awesome.
I 100%, if you are into outfits, I 100% recommend the wedding attire one because it is different for literally every single race gender combination.
Yep.
And
I was just gonna ask if that was the one that. So yeah, that's kind of an excellent deal, though. If you are looking at it on a human and you're like, oh, this would look great on my Norn, definitely check it out on your Norn first because, like you said, it's going to be different.
Yep.
Yeah.
100% different.
One of the things I like about it, too, and I wore it for a while on my human elementalist, is because since you can dye it, it doesn't necessarily always look like a wedding dress. So, like, I was essentially running around in a fancy ball ground for a while. Like, it was awesome. I love it.
I suggest the Infinite Unbound Magic Gathering Tool set.
Yes, those 2. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because I've seen some people, like, I think originally when it came out, someone did like a little video of, because it kind of like you just use, like, you mine and gather with like just energy, like you're just shooting energy. And I think if you're a char, you blast like the ground so much you like fly up in the air, and someone had like the Super Saiyan hairdo, and I was like, it almost, like, I was like, I want to buy it so bad.
I really don't understand why that's not a cross race hairstyle at this point.
Yeah.
Well, they need future updates.
Yeah, so the reason I suggest that is for Volatile Magic, and for those of you who are actually starting the game or like returning from the game, Volatile Magic is kind of like the main currency.
Is it Unbound or Volatile?
It's the Unbound one.
Unbound.
Oh yeah, Unbound. My bad. Volatile's next
Season 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're coming back in for Living World Season 3, the currency is Unbound Magic. I'm tired.
It's not confusing or anything.
No, it's not. Unbound Magic for Living World Season 3, Volatile Magic for Season 4. But the nice thing about Unbound Magic is for Season 3, you can go through that content and you can actually buy some trinkets to help you out, which is actually very helpful. What I like to do is I farm on those tools, and I have the nodes that you can farm daily. And, whenever I need some trinkets that are new, I need a certain Condi set or a power set, you could just easily get some free ones right there.
I second Ada. We need the rest of the dog set.
Yeah.
100%. We need a logging tool and we need a mining tool.
Yep.
Chad was also saying the Felix heavy armor set apparently returned to the store today as well. So, and that would be an armor set.
Yeah.
So that you could mix and match, unlike the outfits that we were talking about, they're all or nothing. You can hide the helmet. Any final thoughts on Gem Store?
Expect Arlie to foam at the mouth when the corgi harvesting tool comes in.
Oh no, 100%. They're making it a mount. I guarantee you, it's going to be one of the jackal mounts.
It would be amazing. I would die.
Oh boy, it'll be like a 5,000 gem purchase. You'll be like,
I don't care. I would like take all the monies.
I'm reading it. She doesn't speak for everyone. You shut up. They'll be like, really? All right. Last up in Community Corner. So the EU May tournament for Unity Gaming Organization. It is starting Sunday, June 3rd. So if you're watching this on Twitch right now live, it will be tomorrow. If you're watching this on YouTube when we put this up on Sundays, it will be starting at 6 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's 3 p.m. Central. Sorry.
Yeah, it might be over by the time you put it up. Or in progress, I guess. Because 6 a.m. is 9.
Oh, 6 a.m. Yeah. You might have missed it. Go watch the replay if it's still not going on.
You might be able to catch like finals if anything.
And chat is also saying it's the last Yugo of the summer.
Oh.
I hear Yu-Go, all I think of is Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's just different.
Yugo.
No, they don't do duels. It's a 5v5 tournament.
Duel 1v1 on points.
Maybe one of them's a trap monster, trap card. And sorry, that was a game mode I was actually trying to make in the custom arenas. Anyway, so definitely go check that out. The Hot Pride March, Gamers Giving Back. They want to help spread the word about Tyria Pride by joining in Verdant Brink on Saturday, June 2nd. So if you're watching this live, check it out. Yeah, basically. The jungle. Braving the jungle and spreading the message of love and acceptance. Wow. EU is starting at 1600, which would be what, 4 p.m. So about 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So that would have been 10 Eastern Time. So that probably already I don't know how long they're going for.
Yeah.
But NA is actually starting 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which, if you're watching this live, started about an hour ago. I would imagine it would probably still be going on. So definitely go check that out. Maybe even join in. Here, we'll throw the Twitter link in chat if anybody's would like to partake in that as well. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sure there's going to be highlights or recordings of it. So definitely worth checking it out. And that's why you should show up live so you can know about all this stuff as it's happening. What are you guys... Do you guys want to add anything to Community Corner on any of the topics in Community Corner?
No.
All right. Well, that is it for this week. Jim, where can they find you?
I can be found on Twitter at MalfanusMMO. You can also find me here on twitch.tv/TalkingSkrit every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for our Zero to Hero PvP night, where Arlie has been joining me. Not so much this past week, but we have been playing ranked PvP when we're in off season. Like right now, we're doing WW, which is tons of fun. I'm still trying to learn how to play Mesmer. It's mostly working. One of our chat members, Uncultured Savage, passed me along a Mirage build, and I'm trying to learn how to play that. And it's a ton of fun and probably lets me survive way too long despite the Mesmer nerfs. But it's real trolly, and I love it. So hope to see you all there.
Awesome. And Age, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Age Night Road. I got a vlog I gotta make and put out in a couple of days, and I want to make a kind of introductory to Thief guide for the new players that are coming in. I want to do it for a while, but now it's like a really good time to do that. I don't know if I'll stream later tonight, but tomorrow I want to stream something. Maybe some Dauntless. I'm not sure. But we will
Let me know if you're doing that. I might hop in.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. And Robin, where can they find you?
On Twitch and Twitter at Arlie82. I've actually been streaming more often recently. Yay.
Hey.
I just started Detroit Become Human, which is pretty cool and interesting. I stream Dauntless sometimes. I stream WoW sometimes.
You tried Bless for upwards of 5 minutes.
I don't know that I'm going to try that again. Yeah, random games. A lot of random games. So, hang out. It's fun.
Awesome. And you can find me at simply_Dale on Twitch and Twitter. And yeah, this past week I had to do some overtime at work and stuff. And as I was getting home, I was trying to work on some of the stuff that we talked about in the past of generalizing the channel, not the show. If this is news to someone, don't worry. But so I know we were shooting for at the end of the month, and as you can tell, it's June 2nd.
We have plenty of time. End of the month is like 30 days away.
There's 12 ends of the month. We're fine.
I'm gonna be like George R.R. Martin. When the dragon's coming?
If you upset me, I'm gonna end the show that you don't even know about. Anyway, and we always go off the rails like this. But yeah, so if you are just popping at the very end, do stick around. We do a bit of an after show. If you are, we do highlight this on Twitch, so you can watch it here. If you want to watch it on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, try to show up for the live show Saturdays 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. But if you want it on YouTube, we put this up on Sundays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and just search Talking Skritt. Choose the first one that pops up. And let's see if Twitch. Nope, it's saying we are offline, but it was a pleasure talking with everybody that's been in this offline stay with me. So if you have hosted us, thank you. Maybe one day Twitch will let me actually again read those out. But you know who you are, and you know we love you. I think that we have a community Discord. If you're watching this on YouTube, links in the description. If you're watching this on Twitch, down below in the info section, there should be a link. And yeah, that is it for this week, and we'll see everybody next time. Take care. Bye.
Good night, everybody.